Hello, welcome back. My name is Jo. In the past couple days, I have started a project to hopefully improve my accent. So my idea is that every week I will try or incorporate new ideas based on wherever I find them. So the first week I have been using a video that I will have on the screen and linked below from English with Aga, who is, I believe, a Polish content creator who has like perfect British English. So, she apparently knows how to get a good accent. So the video is called How to Improve Your Accent in a Foreign Language. And she says that there are 3 things that you have to work on, kind of 4, but 3: intonation, stress, and pronunciation. So for intonation, she recommends repeating phrases using nonsense sounds to absorb the musicality of the phrase. This is so hard to do. I have been really struggling with that. For stress, pay attention to the syllable stress. In Spanish is kind of built in, like, it doesn't have variable stress like English would have. But obviously I do need to pay attention and make sure I am stressing the correct syllable. And then pronunciation, detailed listening for certain letter combinations. And then research the mouth or like tongue movement placement for sounds in your target language.
So legal, or vehicle. Your tongue is almost kind of between your teeth when you say those sounds. Sticking your tongue all the way between your teeth, really sticking it out, going na.
At the very end, she recommends listening and repeating, and she didn't specify whether that was like immediately behind or what that would look like. So I've just been trying all kinds of things. The other thing that I'm trying to do is choose an accent, because obviously if I'm trying to improve my accent, I have to pick an accent to at least some extent. And I have been super resistant to do this, not because I didn't want to have one, I just didn't know what one to pick, because I'm living in Spain, but I do not want a Spain accent. I just don't identify with Spanish very strongly, but I've literally never been to Latin America, so it feels incredibly random to pick anywhere. But I was going through a list of audiobook narrators that I have that I really love and listening to their samples, and it was gonna really come down to Mexico or Colombia, I think, and I did end up picking Mexico. And obviously there are infinite accents within Mexico. So another idea that I'm incorporating already is from another video by Alice Chance. She recommended constructing like a family for yourself in the language. Like, she's someone who learned French to like an incredibly good level within like 2 years. Choose people to be like your mom, your French mom, your French brother, your, whatever. I had seen this video years ago, and the idea has always stuck in my head, but I never did it. And so I'm kind of trying to do that, but I'm trying to, at first I was like, I need to like pick all these people, and then I was like, no, I need to pick people that like make sense and works, and I actually like their content enough to want to like watch it continuously. So I have 2 family members picked out. I'm trying to pick people who accidentally, I'm picking people from all over the country, which is super inconsistent, but that have what seems to me a natural way for me to speak. The audiobook narrator that I really like, her voice.
A los 8 años yo vi una obra de Mario Iván Martínez. O sea, mi recuerdo seguramente está bien adornado, pero yo recuerdo estar en el escenario. O sea, como que no solo lo estaba viendo ahí, sino lo estaba sintiendo acá. Y le dije a mi mamá, yo quiero hacer lo que él está haciendo.
Is from Oaxaca. I have picked my cousin, my cool cousin, and that is Carolina Elizondo.
Buenos días, es lunes, ya me voy a ir a trabajar, son como las 8:30 de la mañana, pero les quería enseñar como una semana en mi vida, un poquito un vistazo a mi vida diaria, a mi vida godín, pero me quiero enfocar 100% en la lectura, me quiero enfocar en qué tanto leo en una semana.
And she is from one today. And then I picked my little sister, I think.
Es de mi agrado informarles que ya tengo chamba. Son 2 semanas después, de hecho. La verdad sí entré medio en crisis porque... Sí es la chamba que les platiqué que quería que me dieran. Sí me la dieron.
And I can't remember where she's from. Part of things that I was considering is that I do not have a lot of change in my pitch, I don't think, naturally in my voice. Like, I think I'm quite flat speaking, and I don't have a super expressive voice. And so a lot of Spanish accents would be a huge effort for me to reproduce. And it's not that I don't like them, but I don't think they would be natural for me, especially at this stage. Like, maybe if I had done it from the beginning of learning Spanish. And slightly slower. They're still quite fast, as I have learned from trying to repeat things, but not one of the faster accents. So that has been my thought process so far. So I'm going to get to my practice for today. I am going to plug my fan back in so that I don't suffocate. Also, it makes nice white noise so that my roomies for the moment can't hear me do weird nonsense noises and repeating phrases. Yeah. Hello, we're back. It is day 5, 6, I have no idea. Time is an illusion. I need to come up with a name for this. The accent boot camp, whatever we want to call it. So things have been going well. I've been slacking a little bit on specifically sitting down and doing exercises the past 2 days, but I watched this video about how to roll your R's because that is something that I still needed to really work on as far as, reproducing the sounds of Spanish. Can roll my R's sometimes, but sometimes I get stuck doing it, and then sometimes I do it, but it's just exaggerated, it doesn't sound natural, and then sometimes it's fun. But anyway, I obviously need to be able to reliably and naturally do this. So, well, not need to, but want to. And so I watched this video and it was so helpful. I will put it in the description and I highly recommend watching it. But the gist of it was that you do the tongue tap on the roof of your mouth as if you're doing a non-rolled R, like ada. But then you don't actually make any sound, you just blow air out. So and you keep doing that and you keep practicing it, and eventually you start to because of that, and then you can use that to roll the R, rojo, 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 rata, rápido. It's still a little bit exaggerated, I think, but yeah, I haven't done that at all today. This is the first time that I've rolled an R today, which normally it requires a little bit of warm up. So it's definitely helping. It's really funny. Yesterday I was walking around, and whenever I felt like I was by myself, I was har, 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 har. So yeah, a little weird. But other than that, I also have been reading along with an audiobook, not necessarily specifically trying to reproduce the sounds the way that she's saying them, but simply trying to reproduce the speed, because I have realized that I just speak so slowly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but doing these exercises, especially the speaking quickly, I have the mouth fatigue that people talk about. I've never had that before. I have heard people talk about that for years, when they first start speaking a foreign language, the first time they go to a language exchange or something, about their jaw and their tongue and their mouth being sore or really tired. And I've never had that. I've spoken Spanish for hours on end and I've never had that. But I think it's just because I was being so lazy about the way that I was making the words and the way that the speed with which I was speaking, that I never was really forcing any development of new muscles or anything like that. now I feel it. If I read, I've been trying to read 2 pages on my iPad, so like 2 iPad pages along with the audiobook, and oh my god, it doesn't help that I have like TMJ and it's been acting up recently for unrelated reasons, but I can tell that like the back of my tongue, like a different part of my jaw, is like fatigued when I do that. So that's good. We're developing new muscles or something. I didn't think to do a clip before we started this whole experiment, but I did a video playing a video game like a couple weeks ago, so I can, use that for a pre-clip. And then I don't know if today or tomorrow maybe I will film a progress. I don't know that we will have a huge amount of progress, but I need to decide some kind of fixed thing that I'm going to use for reading or saying in order to evaluate progress, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's where we're at. I definitely want to keep the reading along with things. I need to do more repeating after, but I need to figure out a good way to do that. I haven't figured out a good, if you do like shadowing or repeating things, like what is the mechanic that you use to make that work? Like pausing after every sentence, just saying it while they're saying something else. Like I know this is silly, but like I just haven't figured out a good way. I don't know. So anyway, I have other things that I want to incorporate in the future, but if you have additional ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments. If they are, an original idea, I will obviously credit you in if I use it in a video. Obviously like shadowing and stuff like that is like, pretty well known, but yeah, feel free to leave your thoughts below.